Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel Code Space. Hope you are doing great. So today we are going to learn arrays in C Sharp. Arrays are a fundamental data structure in C Sharp. They provide a way to store and access a collection of elements of the same data type. In C Sharp, arrays are quite versatile and widely used. Arrays are contiguous allocation of memory and help us to store a collection of data. So let's see how we do declaration and initialization of arrays in C Sharp. You need to declare using the square brackets for the arrays. You specify the data type of the elements followed by the array name and the optional size. For example, here we are declaring int array variable name is numbers and we are creating, that is declaring with the size of 5. So that's how we do initialization and declaration. So basically it will allocate memory for int which is 4 bytes and we are allocating 5 contiguous memory allocations for integer type. So it will be like 5 into 4 bytes, which is 20 bytes. So this much amount of array allocation is allocated in the memory. This will be the size of our array. Alternatively, you can use an array initializer to declare and initialize an array in one step. For example, here we are directly declaring and initializing the array with the values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is, it's an array variable name numbers and allocating array size of 5. We understand how we declare and initialize. Now we need to understand how we can access the elements of an array. The first thing we need to know that arrays are zero based index. It uses zero based index means when we have to retrieve the first element of an array, then we have to use index starting as 0. So when we try to retrieve numbers, square bracket open, 0, square bracket close, then it will return the first value of the array. Okay, we have some properties of array like length and bounds. You can determine the length of the array, that is the number of elements of an array, by using variable name of array dot length. It will give the length of the array, that is the number of elements it can store or the size of the array. Be cautious not to access elements beyond the bounds of the array. Doing this will result in an index out of range exception. Means if we try to fetch number or fetch an element from an array which is beyond its size. Suppose we have an array which is of 5 size, but we try to fetch element at 6th position, that is numbers square bracket open 5 and square bracket close. Now we already said it's a zero base index, so 5 should not be available, that is it's the 6th element. So array out of index will be, that is index out of range exception will be occurred in this case. Okay, so how we can modify the values of an particular index? So we can simply assign numbers square bracket open 1 or the index value at which we have to update the value. So in our case we are updating the index value at 1 and we are setting its value 42. So it's that simple. Okay, so let's move to another. Iterating through arrays. Okay, now we have continuous or a collection of elements or values which we want to iterate. Means we want to loop through using for loop, for each loop, or some sort of link queries. For link queries we will discuss later. So for example, if we have to iterate through for loop, then we have to start an index with 0, Here we declared an int variable I, and we are iterating it up to the length of the array. Okay, and we are iterating this value I plus plus every time. So we created this for loop. In the console write line, that is in the console, we are printing the value at that index, that is number square bracket I square bracket close. So we are printing first 0, then 1, and then 4 up to the length for which the size of the array. Okay, so that's how we can iterate. Similarly, we can iterate through for each loop. So these are the basic features of array that we just discussed. Other than that, we have multi-dimensional arrays support in C Sharp. Multi-dimensional arrays. C Sharp support multi-dimensional arrays as well. You can have 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional, or even higher dimensional arrays. For example, if we have to declare a 2-dimensional array of integers, then we have to use data type, that is int, square bracket open, comma, square bracket close. The comma between these two indicates that we are declaring a 2-dimensional. If we have one more comma in this square bracket, then it means it's a 3-dimensional, and so on. We can keep on increasing. So here we declared a 2-dimensional array. Now we have provided or initialized a value for this 0 index of the 0 array. It's like a kind of a matrix of 3 by 3. Okay, so we can use multi-dimensional arrays as well. Other than multi-dimensional arrays, C Sharp also provides support for the jagged arrays. What is jagged arrays? It's an array of arrays. Means we can, how we can declare it? It's an integer, square bracket open, square bracket close, then square bracket open, square bracket closed. This signature defines we are declaring a jagged array. And how we are providing values, like it's a 3 by x. X could be anything. I am not giving here x, but x could be anything. So in this case, if we have to assign at the 0th index of the jagged array, we can provide multiple values of integer types. Like here we can have 1 or 2, but in the index 1, that is second value, we are providing 3, 4, 5. Here 3 values. So it's also the facility of jagged arrays that it helps in different sizes of sub arrays can be provided. So this is called the jagged array. Okay, so today we learned about arrays in C Sharp, how it works, how we declare and initialize array, and basic operations on arrays, like how we can set value or update value, and also the other two types of arrays supported in C Sharp, that is multi-dimensional array and jagged array. So I hope you have learned some basics of arrays in C Sharp today, and it is useful for you in further learning in data structure.